everyone. Excited to be with you here. My name is Tyler Jennings. I'm with Legrand. I'm the Director of Product Marketing for WireMold. I look forward to sharing some of our new products with you. But not only our new products, I also want to make sure I'm talking to you about how you use them, the customers who are going to care, and the tools that we have to help you sell more of it. In this area, there's a lot of opportunities to bring power. Charging is the key theme of everything we're doing at WireMold today. People are bringing more devices into the workplace, into their home. Even in outdoor environments, people are looking for power. So you'll see some of my props here, but we're really focused on how we bring power to people in all applications. We are not just a raceway company. It's interesting to note that we are more of an open space and outdoor company than we are a raceway company today. So with that, I'll get started and talk to you about how we can help you in your business and look for those opportunities. And we know that as you're proactive with WireMold, you will sell more and you won't have as much competition with some of the examples I share with you today about some of our distributor partners across the country and the success they've had. So first, we want to talk about is mobile device charging at work. Interesting facts right now. We know that there's over $100 million of power embedded in furniture this year alone. If you expand that to include conference room tables and table boxes, it's a $300 million market. A lot of that is in a retrofit application, about $125 million of that. $175 million or so is sold with the furniture, but there's $125 million of opportunity going after power, adding power in a retrofit environment. So as you think about your customers that you have that are large healthcare or large education or large commercial office spaces, adding power to those environments is a no-brainer. You've been in the places, I've been in the places. I was just at the airport the other day, my hotel room last night. They have very little charging. There needs to be more charging. If you walk on a college campus today, you'll see where the students congregate. I was recently talking to an engineer, and they were having prospective college students come to a mixer after work, and instead of running to the bar like you think most college graduates would, they actually ran around the walls looking for outlets. And it just goes to this reality in our trends today that power and the access to power is something that people are always looking for. And we have a lot of data to support that, whether it's your experience at a conference room table with plug load strips like this, or whether you're sitting in an airport or an outdoor environment looking for power. Now, if you think about the metro markets that we serve here, the average person in Philly is charging their phone 2.1 times per day. If it's New York, you're talking about 2.7. So you have people who need more power than their battery can handle. And from a WireMold perspective, one of our fastest growing lines has been our furniture feed poke-throughs. We sold 24% more furniture feed poke-throughs in 17 than 16. Why is that? Because the point of connection is no longer the floor. The point of connection is the tabletop. And we know that power and power being installed at the desk is a huge trend. We've recently successfully completed a project in Hartford, Connecticut. We sold $500,000 of this product right here. It's our desktop power center. This is a sample of something that you could have on your counter. But it's 2 outlets, 2 USB. It's something that is easy to pick up and add. $500,000. We sold 12,000 units of this to Travelers Insurance in Hartford, and it was a distributor who had an existing relationship. And we just know that power at a desk is something that everybody's looking for. And not only is it power at the desk, and we have the different colors and shapes, and whether it's 3 outlets or 2 outlets, what have you, but it's also power embedded in the furniture. So if you think about a lounge area, if you think about the headboard at your hotel room, if you think about the furniture in a patient room, these are all places where people are looking for USB. And I would tell you that a lot of times the devices that I've seen don't work. The USBs are crappy, they fall off. I was at an airport where the USBs had completely disconnected and there was no longer any sort of guts in there. And that's something that you get from Legrand that you don't get from some of these no-names is millions of units sold and heavy, durable USB connections. And whether it's being embedded or connected, we have solutions in different colors and different shapes. One distributor partner of ours on the West Coast sold $200,000 to a hotel, the W, and they also sold a couple $100,000 of the desktop power center to Google. So there's a lot of these projects out there, and it's just a matter of working an established relationship that you might have, whether it's with healthcare, higher ed, or commercial. One of my themes today is kind of give you a sneak peek behind what's coming in the next couple months. So USB-C is something we've been getting requests for. If you're not familiar with what USB-C is, it's the next iteration of USB-A, considered to be something that looks about the size of a Lightning connector from Apple. The big difference between Lightning and USB-A versus USB-C is that the USB-C is going to be able to do faster charging, but also going to be able to transmit data and Wi-Fi. So you're going to have a lot more opportunity around USB-C, and most of the laptops sold today are USB-C driven. You'll also notice that we're doing a round, much smaller unit, something that can fit in the arm of a couch or a chair. Lecture hall environments are a great place to put these round units. We are excited about the opportunities here with USB-C that we'll have coming to market in Q2. We also have merchandise and promos and selling tips for you. We do offer 10% discounts on stocking orders if any of you would like to try this out in your market. We do have a free functional counter display, as I mentioned. And the retrofit opportunities in this market are plentiful. You just have to leverage your existing relationships that you have with the maintenance and facilities teams and talk to them about, hey, where do I need power? I'll tell you, we had a distributor who was able to get into Auburn University, and they ended up putting one of these desktop power centers and connected to every one of their dorm rooms. Students were tired of having to go below the desks in their dorm rooms to plug in, and they actually used some of their funds that they had from the student-led selection of where their monies were spent to add power to the dorm rooms, and they chose to bring the power to the tabletop. So if you have these types of opportunities, you have relationships with any major university, I invite you to consider bringing this product in. We also have collateral for you. We have online videos. There's a lot of things that we do to make sure that this product is easy to sell and that you feel dangerous and you're not uncertain when it goes to ask the questions, when the questions come up. Now, switching over from what's happening in the commercial environment to what we see happening with open floor plans at home, but I would also add open floor plans if you imagine the trend towards warehouses and some of those more kind of industrial commercial office environments. They've turned into commercial office environments where we have wood floors. There's an opportunity to bring USB charging to these environments. If you notice the picture here, you have a family with an open floor plan, but they want to have their tablet on. I mean, this is my little guy. Every morning while his little baby brother is taking a nap, my 5-year-old wants to have his iPad, but he also wants to be sitting on the couch. And oh, the couch isn't close to a wall, so how does he charge? The USB floor box is a great solution. We also have a stocking display for you as well here, 10% discount. We have versions that have USB built in. I will tell you that this is a large opportunity with your customer, and the packaging is really nice and clean. It's very retail-esque, if you will. It explains the whole thing. Your contractor will not be confused about what this is and what purpose it serves when he comes in and sees this display in your counter area. It's a multi-million-dollar opportunity. We consistently are looking at our markets and understanding the market for residential floor boxes. I will tell you that the space here is at least a $5 million opportunity here in your area. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the way that this code is driving some changes in open floor plan. One of the things that we'll talk about is the 2017 NEC code. Now, any conference room over 215 square feet has to have an outlet in the floor. There has to be power off of the wall and underneath that conference room table. Now, we have options to do that today, but we also want to make sure that you're aware of the ones that are coming, and also the myriad of ways that you can get power to that conference room or any other open space environment. And I hate to admit it, but these are all our products, and all of our products not used as well as they could have or have been beat up. So you see our old poke through there on the left. You see the damaged cover. You see the wear and tear on it. You see the floor box with that opening. It wasn't very sturdy. So we recognize that we're not perfect. We can always do better, and we have more products coming to market that are going to address some of these common application concerns. So excited to talk to you today about our 4-inch poke through. This is something we've launched recently, and we have aluminum, steel, and brass covers, and also nickel. And all of these covers are going to be durable. They're going to help be 4 times tougher than your average powder coat finish. something that will make it easier for your contractor to feel peace of mind when he installs this. He installs it once, and is not going to have to go back 6 months later because someone's rolled over it or the table's damaged or something like that. So our real metal covers are a big deal and something that we're excited about and are going to be cost competitive with any of our other options today. We also have a video that we've just completed that will help sell Legrand poke-throughs. There's a video of a contractor walking through his installation process with our poke-throughs versus the competition. And in this video, he communicates that on average, he'll save about 20 minutes per poke-through. And if you add that, if you do the math there on a 50 or 100 poke-through job, you're talking about thousands of dollars in labor savings. So we really want to make sure we have solutions that address your issues. And whether it's 4, 6, 8, or 10, the colors are consistent, the finishes are consistent. And now with these new metal finishes, you have something that you can feel peace of mind with, and you know that it's going to work and going to look good throughout. But with that being said, we know that there are some environments that even our metal finishes aren't going to be able to cover well. Airports, when I think about security lines, convention centers, sports venues, I could also throw casinos up here. I was at the Aria Casino in Las Vegas meeting with their maintenance manager, and he showed me 20 of our poke-through covers that had been cracked. And he said, listen, you guys do not have something that's sufficient for a scissor-lifted rollover. And every time somebody comes through and we change the layout of the space, I've got cracked covers. It's just not working for me. So I'm excited to talk to you about our heavy-duty cover. This will be launching in the end of Q1, beginning of Q2. I'm going to pick it up here. I really could be doing my workout with this thing. This is a solid brass poke-through cover, and it's going to be able to handle. It's going to be rated to handle 3,500 pounds. It's been load tested to 5,000 pounds. So this is the kind of thing that you can attach to an existing poke-through stem and just replace this with that old poke-through cover that's been damaged and worn. And I really invite you to try and hold one of these and do 10 sets of 10 with that. But it's a great product, something we're really excited about. We'll have it in stainless steel and in brass. Not only can it handle the load requirements, but also can handle the chemical requirements. So this is something that we've done the salt spray test and a lot of these chemical tests, and we guarantee that it's going to work for 5 years. So we're really excited about that one as well. Now switching from poke-throughs to overfloor raceway. If you haven't seen this before, it is one of the easiest retrofit cells that we have. Bringing power off of the wall and into that conference room is going to be really easy done. You can see how thin this is. It is ADA compliant. It's something that is great for retrofit opportunities when they're trying to get power out to that conference room, but they don't want to have the core just exposed. They want to be able to get the HDMI, and you can see that it has 4 different kind of passages for you to get through, and all of your different connections can run through here in a clean, non-threatening, and ADA compliant way. So if you have facility managers and your MRO teams that you have relationships with, that's another thing that we invite you to think about. When you don't have access to the floor, when you don't want a core drill, this is a really convenient way to get that out there. And we also have displays that can be used for our overfloor raceway, or OFR as we call it. So once again, we aren't going to leave you without support. We have marketing tools. So if you go to our YouTube video, we have nice case studies on all of this. We also have the web pages where you have videos as well that invite you to download these onto your iPad as you're going out and making these calls. Now, moving from indoors to outdoors, one of the things that I've learned over the last couple of years in my time with wire mold is how much people want to be outdoors. There's a term called biophilic design, which is trying to bring the indoors out and the outdoors in. Is kind of what we're working on. And to make an outdoor space really functional, everybody will tell you that they need data and they need power. If you're going to create this nice outdoor environment, whether at a healthcare environment, a higher ed environment, or a commercial environment, you have to give people the ability to work outside. And if they can only be there for an hour until their laptop dies or until their phone dies, you're not going to get the full utilization of that space that you hope for. So that's what we're talking about here for the next few slides, is how can I make that outdoor environment feel like I'm indoors from a functionality standpoint. But I want to be outdoors because this is where I feel comfortable, I feel connected to nature, but I need to have power. So we're going to walk you through a couple of our products here. Why did we come up with these things? Because we look at temporary power, We see all of the challenges in these environments. If any of you have ever been to a state fair, if you've been to an outdoor concert, if you've been to a wedding, I was recently at an event, and I will tell you that we were at this really beautiful place, and we had temporary power and cables running the speakers, running the microphones, and you had ladies in heels, and myself included, always having to look down to make sure that they weren't going to trip over one of these setups. So when we think about outdoor, and the temporary solutions are dangerous, but also just smelly. I'm a coach for my son's soccer team, and they bring in these temporary lights that have these gas motors powering, and it's not a good environment. It's not something that anybody wants to have, and it's costly. If you install one of these solutions, you're going to only install it once, and it's the same cost as running the temporary power that one time. So it just makes a lot of sense to talk to people who are municipalities, large end users at a healthcare office or higher ed. This is just a big opportunity around outdoor power. And supporting that is the trend of millennials looking for more variance in their environments and where they work, and this is one of the big trends that we see around outdoor power. So the first product I'm going to talk to you about is our charging station. This product is a real nice one when it comes to think about an outdoor environment around one of your office buildings or classroom areas. I have it set up so it can operate and be protected. The outlets are protected and meet any outdoor codes. But I can just open up this door, and I have 4 USB and 2 outlets. I have the ability to charge any of my devices, and this is something that's going to match the overall architecture of the space, something that's not going to compete with the light fixtures, and will be able to kind of blend into the background of that space and work with the furniture that you have. So it's an elegant solution. We do have versions that have lighting built into them, so you can have an area light, an accent light, or we have one that's just strictly a charging pedestal. But all 3 of these we've seen a lot of success with. Long Island Railroad, for example, just purchased $200,000 of this to put into their train stop, so people have access to convenience charging. There's just a lot of opportunity in bringing power to outdoor environments. And if you have relationships with these large end users, it's something that they're going to connect with, and something that can be a nice sell for you, because you're not going to be competing on price. You proactively went out and talked to these customers. Now, the charging station is great when we're talking about convenience charging, and the outdoor ground box is great when we're talking about facility manager power, and getting rid of all those cables in a temporary environment. So you'll see some of the examples we have up on the slide, but the key opportunities that we've seen so far have been around the outdoor fields. The Little Leagues, they have all the pitching machines that have generators powered to them. We've been starting to sell some municipalities with just putting one of these ground boxes behind the pitching mound. Football fields, Texas A&M, for example, has one ground box every 10 yards at their football stadium. Why, you might ask? Well, they were sick of having all the cables and having football players or the football staff trip, because they have to power the misters and the blow-up machines and all of the laptops and all the things that you might have on the side of a football field that are there that need electricity. So the outdoor environments that we see a lot of success with, and the ground boxes now, and in less than 18 months, we're going to sell, I think we've already sold $3.5 million of this product in 18 months. It's just a matter of talking to the right person. The product itself is very sturdy. It's IPv6 rated, which means, as you can see, it can have multiple feet of water sitting on top of it without any of the outlets being damaged. The way it happens is the outlets are actually built into the top of the product, and when I close it, it creates a diving bell pocket, and now those outlets won't be touched even with standing rain on top of that. It's a great product for any and all environments where you're trying to get rid of temporary power and put in permanent power. So imagine the poolside deck where you have the weddings or you have the DJ set up. Instead of having that temporary cable run out to his environment, you're just going to put this ground box right by where he's going to have his DJ stand. There's just a lot of opportunities here, and we invite you to go and talk to your end users and make sure they know about the ground box. Now, we have had great success with our on-grid solutions, but they both require trenching. When we've been engaged with customers, they say, hey, you know what, we want convenience charging. We'd like to have our students have access to this, but we need to do this in a way where we don't have to make it a project. So we went out and did some reconnaissance and said, okay, well, what should this look like? What kind of things would be most interest to you? And this is where we've come up with our solar charging umbrella and our solar charging station. The solar umbrella is great because it has solar panels that are connected to the umbrella and fold down with the umbrella so it can close in the natural way an umbrella would. The power from the panels runs down through the pole and feeds lithium-ion batteries built into that charging base. So I can have no sun for 3 to 5 days and still be able to provide convenience charging for my students or my guests as they visit my facility. We recently just sold 15 of these to a university. We sold another 15 of them to a hotel. We're working with Marriott at a global level to put these at all their resorts across the world. And I really think that this is an opportunity for you because there's two trends millennials care about. One's technology and the other sustainability. And this is the connection of those two. I'm connecting them to the cloud while protecting them from the cloud, if you will, with that solar umbrella. On the other side, we had some people who said, hey, I want charging, but I don't want it in my furniture. I want it, in an open space. So we've created the solar charging station. It has a panel built on top, and it has 3 pedals that have USB plug-ins, USB-A and USB-C, where I can have 6 devices plugged into that stand-up unit, and so that can be something that's in between buildings or just a part of my campus design like a light pole would be. So we see both of these products as whether being a standalone or embedded in furniture as a nice add-on, and something that if you proactively sell, can completely make some money on this without any competition. So we also have marketing tools for you here. We have videos. The one in the bottom left is from Alvin High School. This is the athletic director, and he's actually telling you about his experience with the ground box during Hurricane Harvey. So we had installed the ground box prior to Hurricane Harvey, and it had 53 inches of standing rain on top of it. And after everything had drained and the field was okay and they were ready for their first game, they were able to plug in like nothing had ever happened to that ground box. So we have some great case studies, great content to support you in educating and training your local teams and the local customers. Now, really, outdoor opportunities are everywhere, as we talked about. One of the projects we've recently completed was in Washington, D.C. The D.C. Wharf had a lot of access to power, and they put in stub-up power, and they had a stubbed-up conduit. And they had too many issues with that from people getting hurt by those devices that they ripped them all out and put in ground boxes. And those ground boxes, it turned out to be about a $60,000 sale for a distributor. And, it was just something that it was an easy one-for-one replacement with what they were doing, and it's a more elegant solution. So whether it's higher ed, municipalities or transits or retail, there's a lot of opportunities for you to be looking at outdoor. And it's something that we would love to go on joint calls with you. Now, I hope you enjoyed the 25, 30 minutes we spent together. Wanted to just hit the highlights of what we're doing at WireMold. We hope you look at us for the new spaces in office and your college campuses and your hotels. Also for new tech, you'll see new technology from us, whether it's USB-C, solar panel charging, the ground box. We're coming up with new innovative things. We are not just the Raceway company, and we appreciate your time. Please make sure to reach out to Keith and to the Brazil team for your local support and to help go on any calls. And my name's Tyler Jennings. Feel free to email me if you'd like any samples, tyler.jennings@legrand.us.